Damn, that was long. I was like, is that going to end in like 20 seconds? Fucking hell.
It's supposed to build suspense.
Bro, that's killed a noise.
Okay.
I was like,
Now
get the damn thing done.
Now we're going to start. Oh.
That is pretty cool.
So,
I like it.
I was like,
It's
okay. Oh.
So, what is good, people's GQ of those people here, along with Robbie Whitaker. Say what's up to the people.
How's it going, guys?
We have my good old friend Shamoon from Cobra Kai Nation. Say what's up to
my
the
man?
people. And then my cousin Jay Camp. Say what's up to the people.
How's it going, everybody?
So you know the drill. We have 3 different sections of the show. First thoughts and impressions, followed by specific moments and observations, and then we end it with questions, predictions, and theories. So let's get started. All right. First thoughts and impressions. We're going to start with Sham. Let us know your thoughts.
So, honored to be the first, actually. I honestly love this episode. Like I said, man, like as soon as Falcon and Winter Soldier started, I'm just immediately already like hyped for it because I'm a big Captain America fan, as you know. This third episode started off pretty much how you would want it, you know?
Yes.
It was interesting to see a little bit of Walker in the sense he's kind of been a bit nice. You know, and then like get spat in the face. I thought that was really tense. It's like we're gonna see that dirty John Walker like we saw in the comics soon. So
yeah, it's gonna come out.
But the episode with Sam and Bucky, like this is Bucky's episode. Like I absolutely loved what they did for him. Like he really was taking the lead, and you kind of were thinking, yeah, if he was a Captain America, you could see that. You know, he's kind of he would be the guy you would immediately think that would get the shield after Steve, but of course Sam was the one that was given the shield. And just generally the episode, Zemo, I mean, Daniel Bruhl comes back. I think they did him so good because you see this different side to Zemo. Like he's not that typical like villain that you saw in Civil War. He's very different. Quite enjoyed that and that whole sequence when they're in the club, and obviously Madripoor is in the comics to do with X-Men, which was pretty amazing, and I like the little connections they had. And then we had Sharon Carter, so glad to see her back as well. But just generally, the episode was really strong. It had really good flow. It was very action orientated. But we'll definitely get into it later.
All right.
So, quick question: Who thinks Sharon's actually undercover?
I don't know.
That's an interesting thing because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Who thinks that she's lying to them to keep her cover and is still really undercover?
I mean, she is Peggy's niece, so anything is possible with her.
I don't think she would betray them. More so, like she's just going to do her own thing because she's been alone for so long, as she said. But come on, like you really think she's just going to be chilling on her own in Madripoor just like that? Come on.
I think she's kind of pulling a Black Widow in which she's compartmentalizing the real mission at hand. Like she's helping them, but they still don't know what she's really doing, what her real motive is. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be revealed a little later.
But who do you think she's working for? Because if she knew that Shield had Hydra in it, and Cap exposed that back in the Winter Soldier movie, and then in Civil War, she had to go underground because she obviously stole the Shield and stole Sam's equipment for him. So.
Yeah.
What's she been doing since that time? I think hopefully that will fill us in. But yeah, it's kind of confusing. Although the ending, we have to talk about the ending. Like,
hold that.
What do you guys think about that?
I was like, woo! I got really excited.
That is the spoiler.
Yes. Yeah. All right, so let's go to Robbie. First thoughts and impressions. Talk to us.
So I'm going to backpedal a little bit as well because I wasn't here for the first 2 episodes, if that's okay.
Okay. That's fine.
So I think I messaged you a little bit about this, GQ. I do mortgages for a living, for those who don't know. I do home loans. For those who don't know what a mortgage is. I get that question all the time. Like, what's a mortgage? I'm like...
Just play Monopoly.
You guys obviously were not beaten at Monopoly enough as children. Anywho. So I'll do home loans, and I've done plenty of home loans for veterans. So that issue where Sam can't get a loan, I've run into so many times with veterans that should qualify but don't. There's like that whole first episode showed how dark it was for a veteran coming off of war.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you guys already talked about that, but like the borderline verbally abusive therapist for Bucky that's VA approved.
Right. So my question is this: what disqualifies veterans from getting these loans?
It's like a lot of them, it's poor credit.
Okay.
But a lot of them, there's a huge section of this
market.
market.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold,
How can you have credit when you've been away for 5 years?
So you mean it's first of all, they were too busy protecting the country to build credit. So that can't be bypassed in any way, or at least looked at or considered in the situation.
You're preaching to the choir right now, good sir.
Man.
You know what's crazy. Beyond that?
That is hardcore.
If you had PTSD or lost your mind for a little bit or became homeless and you couldn't take care of your credit, there's no voucher. There's no like exceptions. Now, I can go with a really low credit score on a VA loan. Like you could go really low, but like I can't do anything for the guy whose credit's like below 580. I can't do anything. And it's the VA's it's not my rules. The Veteran Affairs Association set those rules.
Man, that's cold.
And that whole thing where the rules changed for the Small Business Association loan, that happens all the time. Where you'll qualify and then 6 months later, the rules
you don't qualify.
I can't do anything for you. Like that is real. That happens to veterans. That is real. Second thing of note, in the next episode, I didn't think they'd go with the Isaiah Bradley storyline because that's dark. That's really dark.
It is.
Also,
it is.
So Isaiah Bradley should be over 100 years old at this point, right? Or close to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That man is absolutely jacked and can stand on his own 2 legs.
Yeah, when he throws that tin, you're like, oh.
That's not somebody you want to piss off.
Also, so, I'm assuming he's going to come back later on for some sort of badass cameo.
Imagine he steals the Cap costume again, and he's like, "You ain't the real Cap, John Walker." He just like,
well,
shields up again.
Also notice that he didn't show his grandson's face was never seen. We never saw his grandson's face, guys.
Well, they showed him.
Patriot.
Yeah,
he's Patriot.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the big reveal at the end. At the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they're going to reveal his grandson as the Patriot.
I think they will at some point. I think this is like a stepping stone because Young Avengers has been teased ever since I think was one of the MCU projects. They first included a young character like Ant-Man's daughter,
Stature,
Cassie, yeah, and then like think about it, like Hawkeye's got Kate Bishop in.
The twins were introduced into WandaVision.
The twins, yes. It goes on and on. They've been building Young Avengers for a while.
And of course, there's Morgan Stark. You never know what they might do with her.
Right. And I hope she turns up in Ironheart because I think it makes sense.
Now that I've taken us on this tangent, I apologize, GQ. But
no, it's good.
From this episode, so many thoughts. This feels like they're almost trying to tease us that the Winter Soldier is going to be the new Captain America, not Hawkeye.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But they also implied he might be the White Wolf.
He did mention the White Wolf. He did mention that. He was like, you spent a little bit of time in Wakanda, and now you the White Panther.
And he goes, no, actually, they call me the White Wolf.
Yeah, White Wolf is like, I mean, I don't know too much about the origin, but I think it's essentially like a equivalent to Black Panther. It's just that it's very unique, if that makes sense. So,
I mean, they teased that way back when they first said the name. Like, what was it at the end of Infinity War? Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At the end of Black Panther, actually, I think it was.
Yeah, Black Panther.
After
and then in Infinity War, T'Challa's like the White Wolf has
the White Wolf has
slept.
And
then,
yeah.
So, okay. And now,
they might have been leading into that.
Yeah,
honestly,
definitely.
the only thing I've been picturing ever since everyone got the idea that after this episode that Bucky might become the new Cap instead of Sam, and I'm just thinking
It's still
left
Sam.
arm vibranium, right arm shield, unstoppable.
So
Yeah.
also one last thought before I turn it back. Did anybody, every time we've tried to replicate the super soldier serum, there are
Something goes
severe
wrong.
side effects. There are severe drastic side
Right.
effects. Has anybody else noticed we haven't had any of those yet? Is it
Yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
I think it's
There's 3
now
episodes
happens
remaining, so
very
it's
soon.
probably next week.
Yeah, watch it be next
It
week.
has to be. It has to be that.
Something's gonna happen because there's no way that it's been duplicated to perfection. Because I think they destroyed the only perfect version of the serum after Cap was made.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, they did.
The
Vial broke.
Captain America. He only ever made enough because he was going to do it one at a time. He was going to do it with every pre-screened individual. Why can't I not remember the name of the doctor? Why can't
Oakskeen.
Yes.
I think that's that.
He wanted complete control because he knew what the Red Skull, like he wasn't going to create another Red Skull.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a chance they might do this to introduce mutants?
Weapon X. Even that.
Well, I mean, Weapon X, like the whole Weapon X theory was based off of MK Ultra. That's its real life connection is the MK Ultra projects, where they, I mean that's also Bucky, but like where they wipe your memory after a mission, and you.
That's a good point, actually. That's a slight build up, yeah.
Wolverine was living a normal life, and then he'd randomly just forget pieces of his life because they'd MK Ultra his butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the adverse effect of him getting the adamantium skull?
No,
or was that when he became a mutant? But he kind of already.
No, he was already a mutant. He already
in the X-Men. He's already
skeleton claws.
That's why he's lived the hundreds of years and stuff.
And that's why he was an ideal candidate for this experiment because they knew that he would heal.
They knew he could survive.
And he already had like the gene for such longevity, so he was fine.
That makes sense.
But they put the adamantium in his bones without his knowledge. They wipe his memory, and then they call him for random missions. And they did this in the 70s. They based it in the 70s comics, just like when MK Ultra was really going on. And they really used a Vietnam War vet, just like...
because he was in the wars. And there's Wolverine and Cap have that utmost respect. Or Wolverine has a lot of respect for Cap because I think they fought together in the comic.
Also, the guy with the guy in the Howling Commandos that has the mutton chops with the shotgun. You know that's a Wolverine reference, right?
It is?
Was it?
Yes, because Wolverine was one of the Howling Commandos.
That's true, but they couldn't use him in the MCU version because of
that's actually a great point.
That's clever.
So maybe they can retcon that now.
I think they have. I think they low-key have been just building it up, even though they didn't get that access to Wolvie or X-Men. But because Feige wanted them from day one, he's probably like, we need to build these guys up, but people will start picking up these things once they look back. Yeah. And then when they finally get that deal with Fox, which they did, unfortunately it was too late because Hugh Jackman would have been Wolverine in the film. Because he said if Fox gets bought out by Disney, I'm motherfucking coming back.
I think
it's too late.
I think Kevin Feige does a really good job of doing things in later projects that make you have no choice but to go back to an older project that you seemingly did not care about.
Yeah. You'd even watch probably like Captain Marvel or Incredible Hulk or something so atrocious.
WandaVision made me watch Captain Marvel and Age of Ultron again.
Because of the Skrull scene.
Because of the
Skrull scene.
So it was like how do you Endgame made me go back and watch Thor: Dark World. I was like,
honestly, I think Thor: The Dark World gets a lot more hate than it deserves. That is just my opinion.
I hear you.
It is not. I think it is a bad film,
but the Loki stuff in that film is great. Like, that was better than probably what they've done with him in certain films. So that's something
very Loki centric.
What they did in that movie very well is build the brotherly bond between Thor and Loki, like show it on screen. So that could lead into Ragnarok.
Right.
All right. Now that I've taken us on a bunch of tangents, I'm good at
That
this.
was such a
Isn't that what it's all about?
It was worth it though.
All of the information is very useful information. Sir Justin, talk to us about your first thoughts and impressions.
Well, first thing I actually did pay attention to was when they were talking about Trouble Man, because that's how the whole Sam thing started in the first place.
Mhm.
Yes.
Because like they were just on your left, on your left, on your left, and they're just sitting there. You're just like, oh, you got a list? Add Trouble Man. Puts it on there, and from there, those two just became friends, brothers, and now he passed his shield on to Sam. So that was a really good callback, and that's gonna make people want to go watch Winter Soldier again.
Just to add to that, with the reference, did you guys think that book that Bucky had with the list of names? Did you think that was Steve's book?
I did.
Probably.
I didn't realize it was Steve's book, to be honest with you.
Because the book looks similar, but I was like, is Steve really going to give him that book? But then I was, like when they revealed that, I was like, oh my god, that was because all the names.
Sense, though.
Funny how
does make a lot
you were
of sense.
thinking about that, and that's what the deal was.
It makes sense though, because they're both men out of time, so Bucky might need that list too.
And then I love the way they refer to like the whole Marvin Gaye thing, and then I was just absolutely love that callback. It was amazing.
But that shot that Sam had to take was disgusting, man.
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, what were they calling him? The Smiling Tiger.
Yeah,
that's from the comics as well.
Tiger.
Yeah.
And I actually looked that up. I actually looked that character up. Conrad Mack was his name.
Yes.
And he has agility, speed, superhuman strength, that kind of thing. But he was very sadistic in when he killed people. He would always kill people with a smile on his face.
Damn.
Yeah, that was like, okay, that's different.
One thing I will say though
Sounds like
about
Cotton
Sam, that was just an absolute rookie move, bringing your phone into a job like that on vibrate, not even putting it on silent.
Mm-hmm.
That was dumb.
Not even Steve would do that.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve had a cell phone?
Yeah, he had a
he
flip
did.
phone.
But he still wouldn't even let that happen.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I think Bucky still has that flip phone too.
I think he does.
Yeah, he does. I do think it was cool. Even with if you look at the outfit that Sam was wearing as the Smiling Tiger,
Look, it was very much
actually the same color scheme as what his comic book counterpart would be wearing. Hold on, let me see if I could pull up this tab real quick. So if you see, that's him right there.
Oh damn.
Oh, the color scheme. Yeah, I see that.
Mystical mutate known as Smiling Tiger smiles when he kills.
He looks like Wolverine mixed with Beast.
Yes,
that's what I was
That's
thinking.
exactly what it looks like.
Mixed with Carnage.
Yeah.
With the
symbiote,
claw, with the whole claw
literally.
Smiling Tiger possesses increased strength. agility,
That could be an
heightened
Avengers
sense of
villain by the looks of it.
claws.
Yo, that would be an amazing movie.
If they made him like a full-out
Then again,
fledged
they
villain.
maybe now that Sam took Smiling Tiger's identity, he might come back to kill Sam because
like the Mandarin was like getting posed and stuff. Now he's actually coming. They could do that whole thing.
Yeah.
So they might bring him into the show. Who knows?
Or they might bring him in as a whole separate person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So, aren't they doing a 10 Rings movie?
They are doing
Mandarin.
Shang-Chi.
Yep.
So
Shang-Chi.
Conspiracy theory. They're going to use that to introduce Iron Lad. Because
okay, so hold on
That's
to
a
that
good
theory.
point.
Hold on to that theory because I had some thoughts. I definitely
this happened to me last time, Rob.
All right, so now we're gonna move on to specific moments and observations. Was there anything in particular or things in particular that stood out that made you go, or whoa, that was dope?
Carter. Agent Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we said earlier on.
Like, especially at that end scene where she's like, I'll explain on the way, but we've got ourselves a situation. Like
why would they show that if it wasn't of some type of importance?
Exactly. So she might be up to something. That's a good point.
I don't think she's really banished from the United States. I don't think that she's an enemy of the state like she's claiming. I think she's in deep cover.
Who would she be working for, though? That's the thing.
Maybe Fury.
She might be.
Well, that's a good point, because Nat was like Fury's eyes, if you think about it. Now,
yeah, and they also they brought him into the end of WandaVision because they're bringing Monica up there to talk to him. So Fury might be recruiting agents, and she might be one of them.
Do you think?
Or maybe Sharon just keeping the tabs on, like, on the Earth kind of stuff, whereas Fury's up in the Sword base. So maybe that's another point.
Do you think Sam hired Sharon as the Black Widow replacement?
That's sort of fair point.
Yeah, because she was one of the best trained SHIELD agents. They had her keeping eyes on Captain America, which means she's definitely qualified.
You can trust Sharon just like Widow.
This is a Captain America-ish situation. I wouldn't rule it out.
Or, if we want to go really crazy, she's a Skrull.
Oh.
Would that tie in Secret Invasion then, if they did that?
Son of a bitch.
They did do that in WandaVision.
They have shown Skrulls in almost every production.
Spider-Man
Skrulls are taking over everything, and it's fantastic because now you have no idea in any project who is or isn't a Skrull.
That's actually mind-blowing because they've already announced Secret Invasion, so we're gonna have to look back and see, is he fishy? Is he not acting like himself? GQ, are you Skrull?
Could do something very monumental. They could be single-handedly responsible for screwing up any past project by revealing that whoever that was in said past project was a Skrull the whole time. That would screw up the entire storyline.
Do you reckon they could use that to kind of explain why a film was so bad for a character? Oh, they were a Skrull the whole time, so they weren't their character.
Yeah.
4-2 was so bad because the guy Malekith was a Skrull.
Yep. I wouldn't rule that out. I wouldn't put it past
Disney. That's more of a joke. I'm not genuinely serious, but yeah, I mean,
maybe Dr. Selvig has been a Skrull this whole time.
What is he up to now? Because he knows way too much to just be left alone in civilian life.
Exactly. So SHIELD that probably has tabs on him.
Definitely, yeah.
Or Sword. Now.
Damn, you dropped the bomb on that one, Rob. Yeah. We're all now like mind boggled, like shit. Who could be a Skrull?
Damn, we can't even reveal that in the theory section.
But literally, I've actually forgotten what we were saying right before that.
Okay, man, Sam might be a Skrull.
We were talking about. Oh man, what were we talking about? Crap.
Wait, what was it? Right before Rob dropped that massive bomb on.
Yes. Oh Lord,
Sharon.
Yes. You said Sharon was a Skrull, right?
How it could be possibly
how she's undercover
working for Nick Fury as the Black
I think Fury is like the one I think would make sense because she was actually in Winter Soldier, didn't she say? Yeah, because remember when Steve saw the neighbor, which was Sharon Carter, and then when Fury was like shot, and she comes in, she says, "I'm Agent 13. I was sent by Fury to protect you." That would make sense if it is Fury because in the past they've had that trust.
She's worked for him before.
I reckon it is.
She works direct. Well, then even if she's not a Skrull, she still ties into Secret Invasion then, because we all know where Nick Fury is right now, or at least the real Nick Fury.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. Yeah. What if Sharon's with her and then like they sent like a Skrull version to just kind of sort of help these guys again?
That also
the woman who came to pick her up at the end of the episode could be a Skrull.
True.
Like
she could be a Skrull. Yeah.
Hold up, guys. Because Agent 13
the woman she was with could have been a Skrull.
this really could be a Skrull version. Agent 13 was never this like Sharon was never this ornery. She was never this ornery in the movies.
She's very quick to let them like stay and have a place to. Do you know what I mean? Like in the sense, like Fury and Maria Hill in the Spider-Man film were very like they're just very quick and easy to seem like to trust someone. Whereas before Nick Fury isn't that you can't trust people that easily.
At the same time, she had quite a lot of access to a lot of stuff for somebody that was on the run.
Right, she looked pretty homey, and she said she, of all things considered, she's good.
That whole art gallery thing there, there's no way anyone wouldn't have caught on to that.
Not
She
at
did
all.
mention no extradition, but still, someone.
Yeah, that's lazy writing.
Like, no extradition or not, Sword doesn't care about that. They'll swoop in and get you without anyone ever knowing. That they showed Sam doing that in the first episode.
I must say, I was very impressed with the way Sharon Carter was able to hold off those people during that last action scene.
Yes,
where the containers
She
were
is very skilled.
She's no joke. I think the only thing I saw was in Civil War when she was trying to fight Winter Soldier.
Yeah, she got ass-whooped like Widow, but I think she's in a similar. Again, she's trained similarly to Widow.
Exactly, because think about it. She is Peggy's niece, and Peggy would make sure that Sharon was ready for anything.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. Peggy doesn't raise no bitch. You know, she'll make sure that her niece is on point with everything.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But no, she did she was very impressive. She held off a lot of people during that time.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, she's a little too skilled.
Honestly, with those kind of skills, she belongs on the Batman family.
The Batman
next
family.
Go.
Man,
that's a good point. Maybe
that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, DC, bro.
Yeah, man. Whoa, totally off subject. I'll bring it up after the last section because I'll get to that later. Any other standout moments and observations that you made during this episode before we move on to the final section?
I want to know who shot that woman. Was it Sharon Shooter or?
Yes.
Was it her or was it somebody or was it that girl that picked her up that was on another room that had a gun and shot somebody? I don't know.
Well, if it was
someone that works with Carter, like it has to be someone that works with Carter.
Yeah, because she showed up immediately afterward. The timing was too perfect.
One thing that made me interested, so right before the end, and Bucky's like, I was starting to think when you were going to get here, I was like, wait, did Bucky know that, Wakanda or, people from Wakanda were going to be like on him, or have they been tracking him this whole time and he knew about it? Because maybe of his like brainwashing and stuff, or because when I saw those beads, I thought that looks like a Komodo bead. So I was like, that looked like a Komodo bead, but when that whole reveal came, I was like, "Oh my god, that makes so much sense." Because the white.
When he picked it up, he was like, "You dropped something."
Yeah,
but that made absolute sense because Bucky was living in Wakanda for a while. He knows their technology. He knows how they work, and he'd be the one to catch on to that. Especially considering he knows that how much they want to kill Zemo because he killed King T'Chaka.
Yeah,
they even mentioned that in the episode. He killed T'Chaka, so Wakanda is gonna want revenge on that guy.
So I'm curious. Did T'Challa kind of? He must have hid this from even the Dora Milaje. I don't know, the group that kind of
Dora Milaje.
Yeah, I can't say it right. Like I think he didn't even tell them about it because he didn't kill Zemo, as he was originally, but then he changed his mind. Then they imprisoned him, but maybe he was just out of Wakanda's jurisdiction because they were still quite secretive. But probably because they're open to the world now, they were more exposed to all this stuff, and they're like, "Wait, that guy's still alive now. We gotta get him." And
we need to punish him. Y'all got him in jail, living the life. Right. No, we need to take him out. So he needs to handle the punishments.
Oh, so immediately tying in with everything we've been talking about, the whole Zemo scene. Do you guys remember? So T'Challa chose not to kill Zemo, right?
Yeah.
Right.
10-15 minutes before, what happened? But Iron Man found out that Bucky was about to kill his parents.
Right.
And Tony Stark, rather than taking the moral high road, tried to go immediately kill Bucky and Cap. Immediately tried to kill them. That was Marvel's way of showing us Tony was not quite ready. He was not quite ready to make that ultimate sacrifice. He still had work to do.
Yeah.
But immediately 15 minutes later, it also showed that forgiveness, you still have that option. You have that option of letting it go and being the bigger person.
I guess, yeah, but
I'm kind of confused how it ties in, like fully.
Oh, my son's being loud in the back. Okay. Now let's get to the juicy stuff, and that is okay. Let's get to the good stuff. We're gonna start with you, Robbie. I will be right back. I'm gonna see if my son's okay.
So the phone went on mute. What did he say?
he's checking to make sure his kid's okay. I mean, I hope he's okay.
Yeah. Maybe he's turning into a mutant.
Oh dear. Scrawl.
Juku's like, guys, we have problems.
So, fun fact, really quick, just completely it has nothing to do with anything. I'm over at my parents' right now. I am actually in the bedroom that I grew up in.
Oh,
nice.
My mom painted this wall when I was 7 years old.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So that is the backdrop.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, but hang on. So while JQ is away, what you were saying about Iron Man not being ready, how so? Because
So
yeah, I want a
Iron
bit
Man
explanation on that.
Iron Man makes the ultimate sacrifice in Endgame.
right,
Mm.
There was still that bit of selfishness in him because he knew that Bucky was not, the Winter Soldier was not in control in the 90s when his parents died, right?
right.
And he knew that. Captain America had proved that, but he didn't care. He still had that. And was that a human reaction? Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Like that is a very normal human thing to.
I think that was just like Star-Lord when he was hitting Thanos when he found out about Gamora.
Yes.
Same thing. And he'd lost a lot. He sacrificed a lot. Like he'd gone through a lot prior to that, but people really judged him on that one instance. I'll tell you why I was confused when you said that, Robbie, is because Tony pretty much was going to do. He did that sacrifice play in the first Avengers film, when he got the nuke and went through the wormhole, and he could have died. Age of Ultron, he could have died destroying Sokovia. I think he's been ready ever since the Avengers film. And then he even says this to Doctor Strange when they're on well, I can't remember his name, but one of the Black Order's ship. And he's like,
Ebony Maw.
yes, when they're going to Titan, because Tony's like, Thanos has been in my head for 6 years. Hence, since the first Avengers film, he's been thinking about that. So he's been thinking about sacrifice ever since that same film when Cap said, you can't do the sacrifice play or you'd never make it. That's why I was confused when you said he's not ready.
That really did start in the first Avengers movie. Also, Pepper knew that was going to happen. You could see that throughout all of Endgame because Iron Man, even during Peace, he could never be happy unless
you saw that scene with the plate, like such great acting from RDJ. He just got a bit agitated. He looks at the photo of Peter Parker, and that one little thing turns his whole like mindset on like trying to save everyone and bring them back, and that's why
that scene broke my heart.
It was sad, yeah.
The point I was trying to make was the gears had been turning towards that the entire time, but those quote unquote sacrificial moments, he knew he was going to survive, or at least he was arrogant enough to believe that I can do this and live. In game, he knew he was going to die, and he was okay with that.
I think it was
that
like
does make sense, yeah.
I think that does, because like he even made that message, like, you know, if I do die, or like that massive chance of dying, then
he left a video will because he knew he wasn't going to make it out of that fight.
Because he thought, like, if I'm getting the stones, or there's a situation where we have to just immediately stop this guy. Yeah, when he gets the stones, that's it. That might not even have been the initial plan for Tony. That might have been like just in case shit goes wrong, which it did, because Thanos almost got it again. So that was like a contingency in a sense, because again, Iron Man adapts. That's why Thanos was truly scared of him, because even if Thanos beats his ass and he comes back, he will adapt, and he did. He beat the bastard. So
he did, yeah.
But that was I guess that was what I was trying to call back attention to, was the gears were turning, but it was showing us he's not quite there yet, guys. He's getting there, but like there's still that. He still has to overcome some of that human tendency.
So linking this back to Bucky and that Zemo scene, are you saying that Bucky hasn't, like, what's the link there with Bucky though and Zemo?
Oh no, that was just a callback to like that Civil War.
There was just a callback.
Yeah. But regarding Bucky, though, I did enjoy that scene where he was saying, the words, trying to trigger him, and he's like,
Yeah,
that doesn't
I
work.
love that.
That doesn't work anymore. He's like, nah, kiss my ass. That's not gonna work.
Yeah.
What about that? What about that scene where U.S. agent was gonna say that? Oh, we're just gonna have to assume that they're the ones that broke him out, and we gotta come for them. We don't have any proof.
That was the dirty side to John Walker. We're starting to see.
Yeah,
That's foreshadowing. That's some
right,
big
because
Massive.
at first they introduced him in the second episode very nicely. Like they gave him a bit of a lighter side, and then now they're just going
emotions.
Yeah, and now they're just showing. Oh, by the way, this guy's a dick.
Yes. And I said this a couple of times on different shows. Episode 1, at the very end, you're like, oh, look at this guy winking at the camera. I hate his guts, right?
Yeah.
Then the second episode shows up,
Oh, he's
and you're like, oh, well, maybe this guy isn't so bad. Then by the end of that episode, oh, I hate this guy's guts. It's like
that's the thing. By the end of the second episode, I didn't even hate his guts completely. I was just like, I can see where he's coming from. He's just trying to do the job the best way he knows how.
Exactly.
I will give him props for his shield work. That is impeccable.
So
that impressed me.
That was so cool. Like to do that without the serum, allegedly.
Right.
I don't think he has the serum yet.
He doesn't. He's regular as human.
He's at the peak of being a
Yeah.
human. That's what they said, I think.
Because I don't
True.
think he's just a regular human being, unless
Actually,
no,
if you
he's on
think,
I think he's on performance enhancers.
He's on. I think he's on something like that, but not like
actually,
serum
wait a
level.
minute. He might have gotten the serum because remember what the doctor said in this episode. It doesn't make you bigger or anything. It's more efficient. It just keeps you how you are, and that would explain why he's going so dark so quickly.
Do you reckon he's might have? So
He
if
might
we're
be
tying
the
that
he,
in-
he might be the bad side effect from the super soldier serum that we're leading up to.
right? Because it does kind of affect him. And I've read about that, and I think that text that Carly gets. What if he they were doing this in low doses, and now like the last dose he needs is exactly what Carly stole? Because the doctor said he'd made I think 20 vials or something.
20 doses
for
20.
super
doses.
soldiers. How and Carly and the Flag Smashers stole it. Don't know how many had the serum, but they have one left. I think that they. Well, basically, I think that's going to go to John, so he'll have the full power, and then when I think Bucky, if he does get into a fight with him to take the shield, because Bucky said he wants to get the shield, I think Bucky's going to take the shield, and then John's just going to absolutely lose it, and then they'll probably see them maybe near the finale. And then Bucky will then go back to Sam and give him the shield, and then he'll teach him how to use it, perhaps. And then maybe the finale is they have a big fight.
Because they already did show clips of Sam using the shield pretty well.
Exactly.
But
And
what I'm curious about is, what I want to know is who's going to be in the final fight. Is it going to be John versus Bucky or John versus Sam?
Sam.
Well, I reckon. Or
do you think it's going to be it's a triple threat
2v2?
2v2 is what I
2v2?
hope to see at least.
Unless Baron's about to do the backstab at the very last minute.
He probably will.
Well, what I'm curious is about that scene with Bucky in the trailer when he's got the gun and who's he pointing at? Is that maybe Power Broker or is it someone else completely? Or was he just trying to see if Sam's reactions with the shield? I'm not entirely sure what that scene is.
So another complete tangent that when they're doing the interpreter scene and the interpreter just straight up lies to John. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah. He's like, do you know who I am? Yeah, I just don't care. That was beautiful.
When he said, do you know who I am? I kind of saw that he's pissed, people aren't taking him seriously. And he got spat on. I would be pissed if I was John, you know?
So,
I mean, but to be fair to everyone, why the hell would anyone want to become Captain America so quickly after Steve died? That's just dumb.
Well, that's the government for you.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
because they want to move on.
And right now, in my mind, John is still the antithesis of Captain America. Because what's Captain America? Not just a soldier, but a good man.
Right, and this guy's just a soldier.
And Steve made that very. That's what the shield holds. That same value that Steve had.
And that's why I gave it to Sam and not Bucky, right?
Exactly.
And what is John if not necessarily a good man, but an
Perfect soldier?
He's the perfect soldier, yeah.
More like Bucky. So maybe him and Bucky could that fight with them is. I feel like that would make more sense because Bucky can definitely.
That's
hold
why I'm
his own.
thinking that, because he and Bucky are a lot alike in many ways.
And by this real world tie-in, so they talk about the guy playing high school and college football, right?
Mm-hmm.
He would have had ample access to PEDs then, to performance enhancing drugs.
True.
Most of which make you a mean son of a gun.
Yeah.
And so that could be, this could be.
Not to mention playing competitive football can also just wreck your body. So he might already be on several drugs just to manage the pain of all that.
And then there's going to be a matter of time before he comes crashing down from that.
Yep.
And he wants more. And he wants more. And super soldier serum's the only thing that can take you past that.
And another Red Skull.
And another. I wouldn't rule it out.
Hold up.
I don't know. I don't.
They're
know
not going to do that.
Red Skull, but
they would.
I like the idea, but I think that'd be a bit.
It's probably not going to happen, but in at least like the cartoons and the comics, there is a modern Red Skull, so you never know.
Yeah, there is.
It wouldn't be the same guy because they did already show what happened to him, but Marvel's done crazier things.
Are you talking about the Red Skull that kills Cap in the comics? He does he's like kind of like really injured, and then he like squeezes his eyes. Or was that the same Red Skull from World War II?
Not too sure.
I'm here for Zemo.
Bruh, this was just as soon as I saw
when you heard that I'm here for Zemo, you just know like next episode that's gonna be nuts.
I immediately just went Wakanda forever.
Okay, so this is something I've been curious about.
I was like, immediately,
because she was in Civil War when Nat's
she was like, move or you will be moved to Black Widow.
Yeah.
But she was also with T'Challa. So people are now thinking this is probably like a Mephisto WandaVision level theory. But what if T'Challa was the appearance in the 5th episode? Because I think one of the writers or whoever said it's going to be like a really like big.
No, they already said they're not going to recast T'Challa, so that's over and done with.
No, but this was filmed before. This was filmed way before.
Oh shit!
So, I mean, Chadwick could be in this. Although I think the last project officially
that would be an amazing.
Is the What If series because he did lines for that.
The What If series is officially his last, but that could mean that he did that after he may or may not make an appearance in this series.
True.
I'm not gonna lie, but do you think that would just take over the show though? Like that would completely overshadow everything that's happened if we just see Black Panther?
I don't know.
Of course it would. If you bring back Chadwick Boseman,
he's the main
like this, it'll bring back so many emotions for so many people too. That's just gonna be like a hell of an episode if they would do that. I'm saying they're gonna bring in.
Being Terry and stuff,
I think it's gonna be Shuri that they're gonna bring in.
Think Shuri?
Actually, that's more of a. I feel like that's a smart.
I feel like
idea.
they're gonna bring Shuri. Or maybe Okoye or Nakia. Yo, if they bring M'Baku, that would be hilarious.
He doesn't seem like he would be out, but like it would be fun to see someone like that because
I don't know. I feel like M'Baku and Sam would have a good chemistry.
They would. They totally
would. We quite funny.
But I think that Sam
and I feel like those two messing with Bucky would just be fantastic.
Oh, that would be hysterical.
Please and he'll be like, "Oh, you're the White Wolf, huh?" And Bucky could say some shit to him.
Yeah.
Oh, so you are the White Wolf? Okay.
Yes. Oh my god.
I think that would be great. And once again, I'm still holding on to my theory about his mask.
I don't know about that anymore now. The way they did this, but
what's the theory about the mask?
That mask? Why that purple mask that looks exactly like Thanos? Then bring an homage to the time during the blip. Or before the blip.
So you think he might be the behind the scenes leader of the power of the was it Flag Smashers?
I wouldn't go that far.
No, he wouldn't have let them use the super soldier serum. He wouldn't have let them use because he hates super soldiers.
True. Yeah. He even mentioned it. They even mentioned that too. He has a code that he sticks to. But
it was almost like he became a completely different person once he put on the mask. It's like he became more bloodthirsty. Like he was a regular, normal guy when he was dealing with Sam and Bucky until he put on the mask to kill these guys. It was
And
like
it was the same thing in Civil War because he was never like the bad guy type of villain.
Yeah, he was never the guy to get
killing people. He's calm, collected, and he thinks every step of the plan through before doing anything.
Well,
he
my
puts
friend
on that mask and just shot a gas tank. And
one of my friends absolutely loves Zemo.
Yeah.
Because one of my friends loves Zemo because he's like, he doesn't have any powers. He's a regular human. Look what he did in Civil War. Look what he's doing to those guys. He's like, it was almost like a Bruce Wayne in a sense because look at all the money and look at all the guards and shit. He had. I was like, Zemo had all this access his whole time. I was like, damn, like he's rich. He didn't say he was royalty before.
Yeah. He ripped apart the Avengers all with his brain.
Yeah,
I mean, was he a Baron in the comics? Was he the son of a Baron in the comics?
Let's look that up.
Well, I don't. Well, he is. I think he is Baron Zemo.
Oh yeah. He is.
He's a Baron.
Yeah.
Because my friend was thinking like, oh, because there's two Zemos, of course. But I'm not. I don't think they're going to do that whole two Zemo thing unless maybe further down the line. But they'll probably have a different spin. But this Zemo has just been like fully introduced, like the Thunderbolt Zemo, if you know what I mean.
Okay, so
the way he's working with Bucky and Sam is kind of showing what he could do if he was with the Thunderbolts.
So it says Helmut Zemo, aka the 13th Baron Zemo.
So
I guess Baron
is almost like a mantle.
Moniker. Baron is like a moniker that they carry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's like their title, like Count Vertigo.
Yeah. So Helmut, I guess, is the Baron Zemo.
Yeah.
Of cool. Now at least. Okay. Pretty good to know. All right.
I can't unsee that Thanos thing with the mask now.
That's what I said when I saw it.
I'm like, it could be
I knew, like
it could be a scare tactic.
His mask was always that.
Yeah, but it's a scare tactic. Because even first of all, the color choice, but then to make it further valid, look at the ridges that match exactly what Thanos had going on with his face. It's like a homage where he's like, okay, well, let me wear this mask to strike fear in people's hearts for the people that remember the Thanos days.
Do the people remember Thanos though? Because after Infinity War, Thanos appeared for maybe 10 seconds in Wakanda. Other than that, they were on Titan. In Endgame, it was that but then that second Thanos that came from the other one from Endgame maybe was more well known. True.
So I don't know. It's a theory that I like to mess with.
I think the reason why I started like thinking of it less is because Zemo had that he said something before picking up the mask, and it was like something like about it was like something sounded very historical, I think, but it kind of made me think like he's had this mask the whole time, but he never like showed it in Civil War. He didn't really have it. But it's interesting post blip that he's now using it. Maybe they just smartly use that he's had it the whole time, but he's now wearing it because in a sense maybe he doesn't want to be like, if anyone outside or public kind of saw him, then they know like he's out. Yeah, maybe that's just a way of doing it. But then it kind of ties into what you're saying, like to strike fear, like the Thanos thing. Maybe if an opponent saw that, they'd be kind of thinking shit Thanos. Even if they don't say shit Thanos, they just kind of think of that the big purple dude,
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Scarecrow. It's like the Scarecrow from the Batman, the Dark Knight movies.
Yeah.
I'm just stuck on the fact that I'm like, why he could have had any other mask. Why a purple mask with ridges?
Yeah.
I mean, that's always been his. That's his comic book masks too.
Yeah, it's not like they made it, unless it was like, he was inspired by Thanos in the comics or something. But I don't think that's never been the case.
But in terms of the MCU,
because true, in the MCU it could be related to that.
Exactly, in the comics, it's fully
different.
accepted. It's fully accepted to wear a big purple mask because that's his thing. But in the movies, in the MCU, I think that would be a really cool, realistic approach as to why he chose that mask.
That does make sense because
I'm going for a purple mask.
Yeah.
The MCU does try to ground everything in as much realism as they can, so that does make sense.
Yeah, because even with the first Iron Man, instead of making it, like
The 10
Vietnam
rings?
War, I think they based it in the Middle Eastern War that was going on around that time. So they try to ground certain things to make somewhat sense,
Yeah, they always try and keep that like continuity as well, so it doesn't like confuse people. Like it makes more sense.
Speaking of that, and I will not. I refuse to believe Marvel on this, or at least Kevin Feige on this one. So you remember in Iron Man 1 when they're talking about the arc reactor, and they said it could power something for 1,000 years, and then Tony goes, or something really, really cosmically powerful for 15 seconds.
15 seconds.
The gap between when he snags the stones from Thanos and when he snaps is exactly 15 seconds.
Son of a bitch.
Did you find that out?
Thanks a lot. Now I'm going to go watch Endgame all over again. Thank you.
Someone pointed that out.
Wow.
I got to go watch that scene again now. Thanks.
And
which
Kevin
means I'm going to watch the whole
it was
movie.
Coincidence. And I'm like, that's bull.
That
There's
is bull.
No way that's a coincidence. Bull.
That's freaking
Wait, where was that quote again? The first thing you said. Which film was that in? The quote.
Iron Man 1. When they're
Iron Man 1. Yeah, he did say that.
He said, like this could power.
I remember them when they were building it. Yeah.
Or something cosmically. It was like something effective, or something cosmically powerful for 15 seconds.
That was definitely a cosmically powerful snap.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it stopped Thanos, and that was he was the most powerful being in the universe when he had all the stones. So,
well, that they knew of.
Well, no, obviously it's going to be that they know of. I mean, they don't know about Kang and all these other villains.
Galactus, death
from that. Yeah, but they weren't introduced yet. It's irrelevant until like for the Infinity Saga. From that moment, he is the most powerful being at that point because he's got all the stones. But of course, he would have died if he didn't have the suit because the suit is what kept him alive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Still, the absolute best thing from the first Iron Man movie is just that him saying "I am Iron Man" at the end of it was ad-libbed, and they were just like, "Okay, we're keeping it."
Yeah, we're like, "Oh, this is brilliant. Yeah, let's keep it."
Apparently, they were in the behind the scenes stuff. They were saying that scene when he says "I am Iron Man" when he does the snap, he was just going to smile and do the snap. That just would have felt so weird.
That would have ruined it. That would have ruined it.
It's like Tobey Maguire-esque Spider-Man type of situation. Like it just wouldn't. It wouldn't have felt. It wouldn't have felt the same, you know.
Also, I'm assuming everybody here has seen the redone scene that has Black Sabbath's "I Am Iron Man" playing in the background for Endgame, right?
Yeah, I see someone put Immigrant Song as well in one of the 4 scenes, I think, or was that one of the scene when he lifts Mjolnir? Like that was just a fun edit though.
So
one that was really beautiful was how the scene from Infinity War where he goes, "Bring me Thanos," you know.
Sorry, that was the one I was talking about. Yeah,
for that one, what they did for that one, they put the Thor music instead of the Avengers music, and it was actually really beautiful. It was a lot more godly in a sense.
Godly, nice, yes.
Yeah, they put Immigrant Song. You know when he gets like he realizes he's the source of the power, not his hammers, obviously, and then he like strikes down. Yeah, they use that exact same song from the Led Zeppelin did. So like that was a pretty cool. Yeah, that's like a good song.
It's eerily similar to the Wonder Woman theme, actually.
Yeah.
In a sense, well, they're both gods. So there's that kind of that
could be the reason why.
Okay, but off topic again. But that Wonder Woman theme is badass. Every time it comes up, I'm like,
I always
clear it up. Let's clear it up. Are you talking about the Wonder Woman theme in her movie or the Wonder Woman theme in the Snyder cut? Because the one in the Snyder cut is annoying as hell.
Yes, both.
I think I know what you mean, though.
The operatic part. No, the operatic part was just annoying at one point. I was also the scene also at in the Snyder cut where Jason Momoa or Aquaman just goes back into the ocean and they start singing. That was a bit drawn out. Also, it was a nice touch. I will say, gives it a bit more culture, but it was a bit drawn out.
There must have been a specific reason why they did that, though. Because
that might lead into the next.
I was like, what is this? This is a bit like.
Considering Zack Snyder wanted to release this movie in 2017 before the actual Aquaman movie, maybe that it was supposed to lead into that.
Right.
Maybe.
But I agree, GQ. Like her theme in her film is way better.
That one was way superior.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the
yeah, they played that when she was on top of the building.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Where's her other theme music? Even when everything
it wasn't even bad. It's just not the same.
When she was fighting, that did come out, and when they were fighting those what do we call those demon things? Her theme starts playing there as well, but it's not like it's just the badass bit. So
yeah,
exactly with the guitar, like that's the bit I constantly heard. So I didn't really think of the bit until you said it.
It's so annoying. That's one of the few gripes I had about the Snyder Cut. Other than
that might be the only issue I have with that movie. That and the Aquaman part thing was, but aside from that, that movie was just perfect.
Wow, they did that. Wow. Yeah,
I still haven't watched it. I still haven't.
Dude.
You got
whenever you get a chance. This is coming from somebody that took massive dumps on the original Justice League theatrical release. I hated it with a passion. So
it was so bad if you think about it. Like
I had no faith going into the Snyder Cut.
I was in that movie theater with you when we went to see it. I had your initial reactions. It was funny as hell.
Wait, what did people say? Like,
because I saw my cousin and a couple of us, and a lot of us fell asleep in the theater.
I wish I saw it on premiere night because I would love to see how the real big fans would react to that.
It was like this. It was the same week that it came out. Like we all went with like all the cousins and everything. After we walked out of that theater, we were shitting on that movie so hard.
Yeah, it was bad.
Was there any specific scene where you heard someone go like "What the fuck" or something?
my what the hell scene with that movie, which also kind of applies to the Snyder Cut, is just the way the Flash runs. What the hell is that?
What is this? What is this?
That he looks so funny.
If you're gonna do that, you might as well just bring Grant Gustin in because his Flash at least runs normally.
Yes.
Just have him run like Sonic the Hedgehog. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm curious, why they did that. Like, why did they?
I don't know if it was a director's choice.
Maybe to make it look more like slow-mo or enhance that.
Maybe to show that how your body would react at that kind of velocity or something. Who knows?
Well, if you think about it, maybe they're trying to. If they show him going fast and then showing his arms going like that, maybe his arms look like that because they're like slowed down. Or maybe they're just trying to enhance that.
Yeah. I think it's just a bad running position.
Yeah, it was just odd.
Stop trying to defend the garbage. Stop trying.
What do you mean? If Usain Bolt, for example, were trying to run like that, he'd fall on his face.
On crack? Why would I defend that movie? I hate that movie.
Stop trying to justify. Stop trying to justify.
What do you mean justify? Get the fuck out of here.
I will say this. I
don't like the Whedon cut. I don't know what makes you think I like the Whedon cut.
The problem with Whedon.
The Whedon cut. I feel like, and deep down inside, I feel like Joss Whedon was trying to sabotage the Justice League.
I wouldn't be surprised
because he was in charge of Marvel.
Because he did Avengers.
He did the Avengers, and he was also in charge of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So he was also doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with that. But yeah, that makes sense.
I didn't actually know that. I didn't know.
No. Well, Joss Whedon did the pilot episode, and then I think his brother Jed Whedon continued the series.
But the thing with Joss Whedon, his directing style, he was trying to make the Justice League too campy.
Like a Marvel film.
Exactly. He was trying to make it Marvel-esque. And the thing with Marvel is light and fun and also badass. DC is just dark. We're gonna rip people in half. We're gonna cut people's heads off. You're gonna see blood if you're watching a DC movie. Deal with it or get out. And Whedon tried to Marvel up DC, and also the problem with him with that movie was he didn't realize that most of these characters didn't have any background. They didn't have any previous movies like the Avengers did.
Right. Not to mention, you're messing with arguably the most iconic heroes of all time: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and you're going to make them not take themselves seriously in this film. You're gonna have Flash fall on top of Wonder Woman as a he fell on top of a hot girl thing. Like Batman being a little punk. Batman was a punk in the Justice League movie, but I honestly I like Batman way more in Batman versus Superman. I hated Batman in Justice League.
Batman versus Superman was one badass Batman.
All right, I know we're going on a tangent, but the one thing I have to say about the Justice League stuff, like Batman was way too funny. Like, when the hell is Batman that jokey? Like, what the fuck
he never makes jokes.
That's what he has. Made him like he
that's
was
what Nightwing is for.
Yeah, he goes
and makes his jokes for him.
What are your powers again? I'm rich.
I'm rich.
I was waiting for him to say bitch, but he just said I'm rich.
I'm rich, bitch.
And then the part where he was making fun of Aquaman, like, I hear you can talk to fish. Like Batman doesn't do that.
Oh no, honestly, not necessarily. I actually could see Bruce Wayne doing that one.
I heard him talk to fish, and then he smiled.
He just isn't that funny. He's way more serious.
No, but the thing, he wasn't trying to be funny necessarily. He was just trying to be an asshole, and that is something Bruce Wayne would do.
Yeah, that's a Bruce Wayne move. But here's another thing that really got under my skin: the part where Aquaman's walking back to the ocean with Bruce Wayne, and there's a lot of people surrounding them, watching them, listening to their conversation. Aquaman, over and over again, says out loud, "You're out of your mind, Batman. You're out of your mind, Batman." But he doesn't have his Batman costume on, so why are you calling him Batman in front of all these people? What are you doing?
Who are they going to tell?
Man, look.
Oh my God, he's Batman! No.
I just thought that was not really a good artistic choice. But then again,
No, because he yells out, "Dresses like a bat," and he's like, "You're out of your mind, Bruce Wayne."
Yeah.
So,
but no, I have to say the Snyder cut
superior.
Leaps and bounds, way more of an improvement. I actually watched this documentary that they released online of the differences and how there were a lot of scenes that were shot that were left off of the Whedon cut, but included in the Snyder cut. And then there's some of the same scenes that was in the Whedon cut that was shot differently or showed they showed different angles. It was just, long story short, the Snyder cut 10 times better.
Yeah.
And this is somebody that hates the Justice League movie.
I'm just glad that they kept the part where you have Cyborg catching Aquaman midair. That's one of my favorite parts.
One of the best things about the Snyder cut was the fact that they included Cyborg's story.
I'm sorry, but how did Whedon cut all that out and decide?
Right?
I mean, that beef that he has with him.
His whole backstory. The fact that they didn't include that, because there was no background on Cyborg. To someone who doesn't know who Cyborg was, they'd be like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Together, he was the heart of the movie.
Absolutely.
Yes,
this was Cyborg's movie. Absolutely.
Anyways,
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
That went hard.
So now let me ask you this: How do you see this series ending? What do you think is going to be like that high point that wraps up this series, transitioning into whatever the next project is?
Patriot.
Patriot, yes, but I don't think he's going to be like. I don't think that's going to be a big payoff. I feel like they have to kind of show Sam maybe like with the whole Captain America outfit, all that kind of thing.
So I think they are going to have Sam with his Captain America suit,
and then kind of just show you he's the new Captain America. But I don't think they're going to try too much. I mean, I
don't think he's going to have the shield just yet.
Mm-hmm. When are they going to
at the end of the series?
When are they going to get the shield? You think it's the next episode or the one after that?
Not just when, but how.
Like I said, I think that Bucky said he wanted to take the shield. They're just going to get it off John. True. That's the only way because they have the shield.
Sam was saying that he wants to destroy it, which that's not going to happen.
So my thing is this.
That was dumb when Sam said that. I was like, how are you going to destroy it? It's vibranium. But why would you destroy that thing that Steve holds upon so much value? That's just doing him dirty. If you want to get rid of it, store it in Wakanda or something where it'll be safe. But don't just get rid of it. I mean, Thanos was the only one that could actually break the shield, but Thanos. Cosmic being, in that level.
But my thing is, how are they going to get it from John? Because John is such a dick.
Well, I mean, surely they'd have to cross paths in the same mission or something. That's the only way I can see that happening.
I still want to know how they got it fixed so quickly at the end of Endgame, because it was destroyed during the battle, and then it's good again.
But the thing is,
Robbie had a thought.
Yeah, oh yeah, sorry about that.
No, I think they're just gonna fight. I think the final fight is
yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think
there's
the
a
final fight's
tension
gonna be between the Flag Smashers and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think it's gonna be between John and whatever his sidekick's name is that I can never remember.
Battlestar.
Lamar?
Battlestar. Because Battlestar's like, that was just stupid.
Such a dumb name.
That was so stupid.
He's basically the sidekick or the partner to John Walker. So if you don't like John Walker, you ain't gonna like his partner. Like when Bucky said, "Stop the car."
The thing with Battlestar, he's like if you ordered Sam on Wish.
Walmart Sam.
Yes. Let's get the new Captain America another randomly black sidekick, and let's make it work.
Okay, so Cap had Sam. We need another black guy.
I mean, he is the partner. I mean, they're only going to keep. I think they're just trying to include him for the sake of just to piss you off more. Like, oh, there's like a whole thing now with Cap and a partner, so it's just rubbing it in. It's just rub the salt in the wounds.
I think it's going to be John and Battlestar versus Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
and I think they're going to
Falcon and Battlestar, John and Bucky fighting. Also, I can imagine that.
One thing that I also did enjoy. One thing that I also did notice, just a small detail in this episode, how the new Cap had Battlestar translating for him, whereas Steve would just learn languages and just start doing talking to people in their language.
Yeah, because he did that with Bolt Rock, didn't he? Because he said on
but Batroc the Leaper. He started speaking French there because why not?
But the thing is, I think the reason why he learnt the French is because one of the Howling Commandos, I think, was French.
Yeah, one of the Howling Commandos.
I think that might have been a reference to that, the way he's translating.
Yeah,
it was the black guy that was French.
Exactly. So that might have been that reference.
I remember that scene where he was flirting with the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also actually from the black what's it called? Howling Commando, his grandson was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That was also a nice detail to add.
That's cool.
Marvel is
I never watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's so interconnected.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I think now things are going to be more and more connected now that Kevin Feige is in charge of everything. Marvel.
I love that. I'm so glad.
Dude, all hail Feige, man. That guy's awesome.
Hail Feige.
Hail Feige.
Hail Feige.
Hail Feige sounds like it would make sense.
It's fine, guys. It's fine.
We can cut that part out, right?
Yeah, of course we can. Sure.
We're just live.
I think that's it. I think that's all the thoughts that we have. We don't really have any closing statements, do we?
No.
Small closing statement. Happy birthday to my brother Jordan and my cousin Angie.
Yes. Shouts out to my cousin Jordan. It is his birthday. My cousin Angie, it's her birthday. Happy birthday to you. If you eventually watch this. And totally off subject once again before we close. Since I have you guys here, the Space Jam trailer dropped today.
Oh, I saw it. Not seen it yet.
And it looks like a cross between the old Space Jam mixed with Ready Player One.
I'm okay.
Dude,
I would love that.
I loved it. I saw the trailer earlier on GQ. It was amazing.
Sounds like a nice concept.
It was very different.
Matter of fact, I'll send it to you, Justin. It looks pretty dope. I'm not really a fan of LeBron James's acting, but
he's not an actor. It's LeBron.
He's
James.
not an actor. He's a ball player.
but
we can't expect the world
from him. Looks like it's going to be fun to watch. I'm still a little upset, and I talked about it in one of my videos for the Alternative Facts podcast about how they made Babs Bunny less fine.
I heard about
of her.
Did you notice something at the end of the trailer? Did you notice that little reference to Dwayne Wade doing that thing when LeBron dunks? Did you recognize that thing that she was doing?
No.
She's doing the airplane?
Yeah.
The airplanes. they recreated the airplane scene.
Yeah. Do you know like that? Yeah, the lob. Yeah,
You talking about the alley?
Now I gotta watch it.
Yeah, that photo of Dwayne Wade and LeBron. Yeah, they were kind of recreating that with her, but like
I'm gonna have to watch it again now to see.
Yeah.
Okay, because he was like,
Yeah.
I got you, Brian.
But the Bronze doing it was halfway dunk is so like funny the way they're doing it. It's like all-star dunk or something. He's like half court.
Besides, his acting isn't really that important. As with the first Space Jam, the real main character is Bugs Bunny.
Yes,
right.
But you know what? It's crazy how King Kong and the Iron Giant are just getting all this screen time from these different projects.
Iron Giant, I did not expect that. Because
Iron Giant was in Ready Player One. Did you guys see Ready Player One? By the way?
Yeah.
No, I haven't, but I know he's in it.
Shimon, no. Shimon,
dude, it was good. I highly recommend.
I've heard so many good things about it.
Ready Player. That's one of the few movies.
Whatever you have planned for the rest of the day, cancel it and watch that film.
I got more videos to do. So I'll watch it tomorrow. Sunday tomorrow. I got time.
Outside of all the Marvel stuff, that's one of the few movies that I can watch over and over again and not get that good.
It was a really good movie. It was it was very original, not so.
And the fan service.
My goodness,
yes.
My
God.
Man, that's gonna be good then.
Okay, let me put it this way: you've seen Spy Kids 3, right?
Yeah,
it's like that if they made it actually awesome.
I want you to watch the movie and count how many special guest appearances you see, all the way from not the Mandalorian, the DeLorean from Back to the Future, the Tron bicycle, King Kong is in it, Iron Giant is in it.
But the thing is, because it's called Ready Player
Superman.
One, does it have references to gaming as well, or is it just like movies and comics?
It's pop culture.
Gaming and movies.
All of pop culture.
Pretty much
anything pop culture. Yeah, anything pop culture.
I want to point out, King Kong had more screen time in Ready Player One.
Wait, I think that's a good thing you're muted because I haven't seen it yet.
Wait.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Say it again.
So, King Kong had more screen time in Ready Player One than Godzilla had in the 2015 Godzilla movie.
Yo, how you gonna name a movie Godzilla and he doesn't show up until the last 15 minutes of the film?
He only has 43 seconds.
All the human stuff is so boring.
That's insane.
Got a movie titled Godzilla. Godzilla has 43 seconds of screen time.
And then with the funny thing about that is,
see, that's why they had to rename the Harley Birds of Prey movie.
Yeah. No, but then so they
they showed up at the end. Kind of.
They had Godzilla, and they only showed him for a few seconds. Then fast forward, they did Skull Island, and they were like, "Look, this is how you really showcase your main character." Because Kong was all over that film, not all over that film. Then they did Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and they're like, "Okay, we learned from our mistakes. Now let's give you too much Godzilla."
Hey, I'd rather have too. It's a much easier fix for too much than too little.
Yeah, because I mean that movie was very long, and the monster scenes were just dragged out.
I mean,
I would say Godzilla versus Kong was a little bit more intense than Godzilla King of the Monsters when it comes to the fighting.
Would you say that film was better than the Godzilla?
I don't want to say it was better for anybody that hasn't seen it. I will say the fight scenes in Godzilla versus Kong to me were more intense.
I feel like it would be.
I haven't seen any of those yet, so I got to watch that whole franchise.
Oh my god, Kong is amazing. Kong Skull Island is really good, but
Kong Skull Island I really enjoyed.
Is that the one we're watching?
You kind of have to watch Godzilla King of the Monsters before you watch Godzilla versus Kong, because it kind of leads into that film, especially the after credit scene in Godzilla King of the Monsters. Yeah, it's kind of homework.
Okay.
But no, Godzilla versus Kong, I saw that not too long ago. Man. Yeah. Without spoiling it. Man. But yeah, man, I think that's all I got. That's all I got for the show. Once again, man, thank you all for tuning in. We will be back next week, same time, to talk about episode 5. And I can't wait to see what surprises we will see when time comes. But until then, we out.
We out.